In today's episode, I will be interviewing this guy that worked on these two games and hope you guys enjoy. So you said you were a dev for what games?
I'm an animator for Demonology and NFL Universe Football.
Could you explain to me like how you got into animating?
Well, I was originally in a specific Roblox community called Row Wrestling, which means have you ever watched professional wrestling in real life, like
Yeah,
WWE,
yeah, yeah.
AEW, TNA? Yeah, it's a group of people who enjoy watching pro wrestling and wanted to try and recreate that in Roblox. It's been a thing since like I don't know 2010. Like I've been on Roblox since 2008, and Row Wrestling was a huge part of my life for a long time, for many years.
Hmm.
And what people, uh, when I decided to start working on stuff, what people would look for is they'd call it trons. They basically look for like little, when a wrestler comes out and they have like graphics behind them,
Yeah.
like on the TV screens and everything. That's basically what a tron is.
Hmm.
So I would start making those, which would require not only animation, it would also require some photo and video editing skills, which I haven't really done in a long time. They're very basic. But yeah, that's how I first started getting experience. But it was very sporadic. It wasn't a very common thing I would do. I'd say my animation career really started when the pandemic hit, specifically April of 2020. That's when I really started taking animation seriously. So because of all the reputation I got from making Trons in this little niche community, I had a friend from said community who knew a dev team. They were the original team was called Cloudburst Interactive. They made a game called Football Universe, if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
played
like
it.
the original Football Universe. I don't know how long you've been on Roblox or if you've ever played it.
Yeah, I've played it before.
Okay, cool, cool. So yeah, my friend was he knew the dev team. They were looking for a new animator for them. They were making a sequel to the game. They were look. It was originally going to be called Football Universe 2, but then the name changed into Ultimate Football. Anyway, they were looking for a new animator, and so my friend basically recommended me, and that's how I got on. For let's say I don't know a year, maybe a year and a half, I made the main gameplay animations for the game and some celebration emotes. And then when the game came out, the game originally came out as Ultimate Football. Man, it blew up quick. It blew up so quick it overtook what's the other football game? Football Fusion.
Yeah, yeah,
If I'm saying
Football
that right?
Fusion. Yeah.
Yeah, it overtook that quick. And I stayed on the game as basically the main animator for months until Christmas of 2023. After that, I pretty much burnt out and just pretty much quietly left. And after that, I'd say for like basically most of the year, for the whole year of 2024, I was trying to focus on my real life, but things weren't working out, unfortunately. But near the end of 2024, I had another friend who recommended me to this group called Black Magic Blue, and I first did a little bit of work on a small little game called Slap Fight. It wasn't much, but then the owner asked for heaven, put me on a project called Demonology. Worked on that for We worked on that from like what? Well, at least for me, I worked on that from say October, November to December. I'd say like late December, early January. That's when the game released, and I've been working on the game since then. A month ago, I basically got contacted by the people from Ultimate Football who now have the NFL license and rebranded to NFL Universe Football. Basically, I got they reached back to me and wanted me to come back on to make some celebration animations again, and I've been doing that since then. So now I work on two games.
Hmm. That's amazing.
It's been interesting. It's been an interest this whole year of 2025 so far. It's been interesting for me. I'm making I'm making good money. I've never made this kind of money before. I'm actually making a good amount of money IRL. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. What was the most challenging part of your career starting off?
Starting off, really just getting the experience, just doing a doing a doing a job over and over again to get the experience. Because when I first started doing it, I didn't ask for money. I just did it because I thought it was fun. And then when I started asking for money to do things, it wasn't a lot. It really wasn't a lot. But nowadays, with the experience I have under my belt and the good amount of money I'm making, it's a huge difference from the beginning, from the start.
What is the most major setback you've had in your career that really like stumped you, made you want to quit?
I mean, I guess I'd go back to when I said I got burnt out on the football game originally.
Mm.
I felt bad about that because I enjoyed working on the game. I really did. It's just after Christmas, I got so burnt out, and that lasted months. And then in the time that was gone, they get bought out by Voldex, a huge company, and now they have the NFL license. So I was like, dang, I missed out on that. I could have been around for that. Well, I am now, but for a long time I felt that way until they contacted me again about a month ago.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say that's the biggest setback.
Um, well, what made you choose animation out of there's many things to do on Roblox, like building, scripting, VFX. What made you choose animation?
Honestly, it was demands of the community. I was in the demands of the community I was in at the time. People were always looking for Trons, for animations to put into their Trons. So I decided to do that, and I stuck with it for years. And that's how I gained some of my experience until I finally got myself into a proper Roblox game.
Mm. Can you walk us through your daily week of working with such big games?
I mean, for me personally, it's honestly just very chill. Like I don't really have a strict deadline or anything. I set aside a few hours a day or more. Yeah, set aside a few hours a day just to work on stuff and just go at my own pace. Really, I uh, I know there's a bunch of stories of people being under a lot of crunch, a lot of deadlines, and I'm sure that's the case. But it's not the case for me personally. It's very chill as long as I get my work done, and I do.
If there is something you would like to say to developers that are just starting out, what would you like to say to them?
I'd say just get experience under your belt. That was like get experience under your belt, and when you have lots of experience, make some friends, make some connections, because those are the two big things that got me to where I am today: experience and connections. Uh, if I didn't have friends who recommended me the dev teams, I wouldn't I wouldn't be here. If I didn't have the experience I had at that time, my friends would not have recommended me to dev teams. So I'd say those are the two biggest things. Even if like even if you're not entirely happy with what you're working on, get that experience. Just get that, do it anyway. Get that experience under your belt because the more you have, the more you can accomplish later on. You could go back to your previous ideas and make them better. You guys, you just got to keep, you got to keep moving. You got to keep rolling.
Brings me to the next question. Where did you find these like people? Where did you find like people to interact with, get to know the community?
I mean, in Roblox wrestling, you would just you would you would go to federations, you'd go to their shows. They put on shows like every week, and you would, while you're waiting for your matches, you would just hang out with people in the crowd. You get to know people, and then uh, if you started winning your matches, you could have storylines with other people. You could have storylines with your friends or make friends through said storylines. That's just that's basically how it was for like many years for me until I got out of that community. Because while I love pro wrestling did a lot for me, it's also very, very competitive and it can get very toxic real fast. I would not, as much as that community shaped me in my life for many years, I would not recommend anyone going into that community. Like find there are plenty of communities on Roblox. Find something that's not so competitive, that's not so toxic. It's you may be able to enjoy it for some time, but afterwards it's draining. It's really draining.
Did you always want to be an animator, or did you try other things at first?
Uh no, I tried doing coding slash scripting first because my father, he's a senior programmer. He was he's an immigrant from Australia. He came to the United States on a green card in like I think the 90s or so. Like he's been a programmer for like what 30, 40 years for a long time. He's still doing it. So yeah, I tried doing scripting in Roblox at first, but I couldn't stick to it. I really couldn't. Thankfully, I was able to stick to animation, and that's what I continue to do. Maybe I'll try doing coding again at a later point because I still dabble every now and again. I can kind of understand the basics, but no, I think I'm mainly an animator. I'll mainly stick to being an animator, but I'll dabble in other things.
How did you learn animation? Or did you teach yourself, or did you take like classes, watch
Oh, I'm
videos?
self-taught. Uh, I would just, like I said before, I would just keep trying to get experience under my belt. And of course, there's a ton of videos on YouTube if you're ever stuck. So yeah, it was mainly YouTube and just pushing myself to do it. I never I never took a class online or in real life. I never paid for a class. No, I'm basically self-taught.
What are some animations you've worked on that players might recognize you for?
I mean, like I said before, the main gameplay animations in NFL Universe Football, those are still mine. They haven't replaced those. Although I feel like I would love to remake them one day because I don't think they're similar quality to what I do today. Like if you want to see the latest animations I've done, I'd say look at Demonology because that's the main game I work on, and I'm very happy. I'm very proud of those. I have done a few since I did since I am making animations for the football game again. There is a few ones that came out recently. Like there was like one where you take your head off your shoulders and you punt it like a football. There's uh there's one I made, but it hasn't been released yet. I hope it is sometime soon. Oh, oh right. I did one where you get abducted by a UFO. I'm really proud of that one. But yeah, I'd say mainly just look at the main game. Look at both of those games. Look at Demonology and NFL Universe Football, and that's a that's a good representation of my work.
Okay. Where can listeners follow up on you and check you out?
I mean, I don't really post much, but I have a Twitter. I know it's called X now, but I'm always going to call it Twitter. Uh, Steven Spectacle. Pretty much, I have the same name everywhere on Twitter, on YouTube, on. I have a Twitch account, but I haven't streamed there in a long time. Just pretty much anywhere you're looking, look for Steven Spectacle, and I'll probably be there. Although to be frank, I don't use Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram. It's mainly like Twitter, YouTube, and Discord. That's about it.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah, that's about it.